Hi, everyone. We're going to be presenting on Justin's. My name is Maxwell Azar. With me is Haley Galligan, Kenyon Hesker, Megan Schultz, and Pilar Garcia.
So it's important to understand our background. We're a limited liability firm, and in 2016, we were acquired by Hormel Foods. Our product we're most known for are our squeeze packs, and we have naturally sourced ingredients that are high quality. Also important to understand Justin's values. These values are incorporated into Justin's everyday business, and this is innovation, finding new sustainable packaging and practices, new all-natural ingredients. Our passion, which is natural and organic ingredients and the preservation of the environment, and corporate consciousness, which is the health for people and the environment and leading other companies to care about their impact. Some of our goals are brand association. We want to create links in the mind of the consumer that we're natural, sustainable, and a good source of protein. In addition, we want to create brand awareness that we are convenient squeeze packs and healthier than alternative nut butters. And we primarily segment Justin. Our demographics skew male, ages 20 to 30. Their urban income is usually 50,000 plus. Some identifiers of our Justins: they're avid outdoors men or women. They enjoy hiking, skiing, and biking. They live a Boulder-like lifestyle, and they shop at natural food stores. And then some more detail about Justin. Some of Justin's goals: he wants to eat naturally and organic products to maintain a healthy diet, increase his personal efforts towards sustainability through products he buys. Some of his challenges are getting enough protein with his plant-based diet and having energy with his plant-based diet. And we can help because we are creating natural and organic nut butters that are sustainably packaged and easy to take on any adventure. And then some of Justin's current thoughts: I need a delicious nut butter that I can eat anywhere, anytime for a burst of protein. I've always had an issue finding the perfect trail snack when I'm out hiking with my dogs or friends. Normal nut butters aren't buttery enough, but very nutty. I've always bought products with intent and wanting to know what I buy and if it negatively impacts our environment or not. And then finally, the one thing we want to communicate is that our values are important to us. They help us find sustainable ingredients and practices to create better products, ultimately for our customer. We are committed to the environment and our customers. We use recycled cartons and BPA-free jars. Supporting us is supporting sustainability. Then moving on to the allocation of media mix.
So when advertising for Justin's nut butter, we wanted to mostly look at allocating our media to social media with an emphasis on Facebook. And we wanted to do this because we thought that our target market probably lives more of an on-the-go lifestyle, and they're not really going to have a lot of time to access like paper newspapers or anything else to get their media or news. And also Facebook has currently 2.7 billion users, so it has a very wide platform to reach. And then we also wanted to advertise digitally through Outside Magazine. We're allocating 30% of our budget towards this. We decided to do this digitally because, for the same reason as social media, we don't expect our target market really to have the time to sit down and really read through a magazine or take the time for that. So they'll probably go to online sources to find their media and news. The Outside Magazine, it aligns with Justin's because it focuses on fitness, travel, health, and culture. And they also have a really high circulation of 686,000 subscribers right now. So there's a very big reach right there. And then we also wanted to allocate 15% of our media mix towards HelloFresh co-ops. HelloFresh is a German company that offers pre-portioned ingredients to customers to make homemade meals. And we thought this was a great idea because their values really align with Justin's, everything from just reducing their carbon footprint to providing healthier meals for people. And we thought it would be really easy as well just to slide a Justin's nut butter pack in or incorporate it into their ingredients. And then we also wanted to allocate 10% of our budget into sponsorships, particularly with GoPro or a pro cycling team, mostly just because we thought this was a great way for people to kind of gain awareness about Justin's. And we also thought that a pro cycling team would really fit with our Justin target market. And then lastly, we wanted to use our 5% of our budget towards advertising for Spotify radio ads, just because we think that they are probably likely to use these media sources when they're out on the go. And also radio ads are very budget friendly. So moving on
to scheduling, we found that there are 5 key points that Justin's can integrate into their marketing plan. As we mentioned, social media campaigns, magazine advertisements, radio music advertisements, sponsorships, as well as food service sponsorships. So that is the HelloFresh that we spoke about. We can see kind of more of a breakdown of the month to month when we were going to do the different campaigns and advertising. We found that pulse scheduling will be the most beneficial to the Justin's brand. As we know, Justin's has already begun to create meaningful content on their respective social media platforms, just showing how you can use Justin's for year-round recipes. And while this is an ideal starting point, we believe that the addition of the food service sampling, obviously rather than in-store sampling due to COVID, as well as sponsorships, promotions around holidays, will help boost overall sales and bring about a positive brand recall. With a larger emphasis on how to better incorporate Justin's into the lives of our target market all year round, along with a constant stream of content, we believe that having a pulse schedule will be most effective overall. With the ability to be flexible and market more during lucrative outdoorsy occasions, Justin's would attract more outdoorsmen by encouraging them to try their products. With a consistent brand image, Justin's has potential to create a cult following that is interactive on their social media platforms and willing to pay a higher premium for Justin's products. Having reminders to purchase Justin's over competition will also be highlighted through our pulse scheduling. This is because adding more offers year-round in addition to constant reminders will have Justin's brand at the forefront of our shoppers' mind.
So I'm going to be talking about how we're going to measure our media mix, and this will be performed through a variety of pre-test and post-test to maximize our awareness and performance of our products. So we're going to do some recall tests, which are not necessarily a good measure of sales volume, but they will help us understand if our brand awareness is increasing. We're going to do 50 with consumers for Outside Magazine, 100 consumers for Facebook, 25 consumers for Spotify, and then an additional 15 consumers for the other segments that are smaller. So this will just help us to understand which media platforms are actually breaking through the clutter and are helping us build our brand. We will also be performing focus groups as a pre-test. This will consist of 2 groups of 10 consumers for each allocation of our media mix. So we'll have 2 groups of 10 for Facebook and Spotify, etc. This will help us improve our advertisements and promotions a lot before we release them. It can really help us to understand what's working and what's not working. And it can also help us to understand if our message is actually reaching our target market and that they're really understanding that message. On top of those improvements, it will also help us to identify any red flags in our sales and promotions before we release it, which would be critical for our success. We're also going to perform some post-test for any of our media mix that was ineffective or failed to meet our objectives. That way we can improve it for the next time that we release it, or we'll just pull it all together if we deem it that it's too ineffective. We're also going to measure any increase or decrease in sales when we run these advertisements and sales promotions. As Pillar just mentioned, we have a pulse scheduling system. So that will really help us to pinpoint which ones are working and which ones aren't. And Max is now going to talk about the budget.
Thank you very much, Megan. All right, so let's get into the money aspect of this. For the health magazine cost, we're running roughly at about $160,000 for a full page. Then an additional half page would cost $104,000, and then the cover cost is anywhere between $200,000 and $220,000. But if we run all 3 of these and get it priced pretty medium, it'll be about $464,000. Next on would be the sponsorship cost. This is for the reasonably good pro cycling team. I actually met with my friend who's part of a pro cycling team, and he said that sponsors would pay somewhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for like logo on the jerseys of the entire team, which would be pretty cool to have, and especially with it fitting with our Justin's target customer, a cycling team is just a good way to go. The next is the social media advertising, and any ad can be placed on there from $30 to $30,000. based on how long you want the ad to run. So if we ran it for, I believe we're running it around 6 months, a different ad of the same ad. If we maxed that out and used the full budget, it would be $180,000, but we could go on the shyer side if it's not working as well and run it about 30,000. But on from there would be the Spotify advertisement costs, which actually run pretty cheap for the way like the ads are worked. But the cost goes up per person depending on how specific you want to target your market. And if we use our very, quite specific Justin's target customer, we can really pinpoint the ads to be almost directed to them specifically. So the cost for that would be around $22,500 plus, depending on how many times we want to run the specific ads. Going on from there, we have the radio advertisement cost, and it's per 60 seconds, depending on city size. It can be anywhere from $10 to $750. And if we were running a frequency of every day for 3 months, the cost would be similar to that of Spotify with $22,500. And from there, the co-op to HelloFresh is $3 per person per meal to try to find the product or to try to get your product in. They roughly estimated that based on what LaCroix had just done, where they put one of these in almost every meal they sent out, the cost would be close to about $3 per person per meal. And so that basically sums up the whole budget. I would just like to thank you for listening to our presentation. If you have any questions, you can email us because this is going to be recorded. So good luck. Have a great day. Thank you so much, everyone.